Another fun one here. Listen, looking at me, I'm sorry. I could screen share, except that I don't. I keep everything like super low tech, and that's just the way I'm going to do it. So I guess I could like point the phone at the ceiling or something. I hope I'm at least like a tiny bit more interesting than like static. So I don't really care to put my face on here. I'm just telephone camera, laptop, paper notes. That's all. USA Today. To win the war against novel coronavirus that has killed nearly 163,000 people in this country, the only answer is compulsory vaccination for all of us. And while the measures that will be necessary to defeat the boogeyman will seem draconian, even anti-American to some. Look up draconian. Look it up. If you haven't done it yet, just look it up. Even anti-American to some, because that's worse. Anti-American is worse than draconian? Yeah, well, maybe not. We believe that there is no alternative. This is some, I don't know, handful of doctors, trusted experts. Simply put, getting vaccinated is going to be our patriotic duty. Remember that. Way more important than standing up for the flag, you know, when you're singing the national anthem or something. Way more important than that. Patriotic duty. The reason when an effective vaccine is available for COVID-19, like 50% effective, like not 50% effective, like having to get it multiple times, like not doing 4-year studies, like the vaccine manufacturers are saying, hey, if we don't get a 4-year study, can't hold us liable. You guys want to rush this, so make sure we can't be held reliable if 4 years down the road we find out there's problems. That kind of effective? It will only defeat the pandemic if it's widely used, creating herd immunity. Am I the only one who's got a problem with that? I'm not a damn cow. And I'm not evolved of monkeys either. I don't know about you, but I'm not. I might look a little bit like a gorilla, but I'm too skinny to be a gorilla. It is important to note that during an epidemic, there is no threshold above which the protection conferred by immunity cannot be improved. Thus, the more who are immunized, the lower the risk for all of us, including those who are not vaccinated. Nor is there an alternative to vaccine-induced herd immunity in a pandemic. There's nothing you can do. Relying on enough people becoming infected and then immune is dangerous. I'm not going to read that. Aha. In simple terms, a refusal to be vaccinated threatens the lives of others. Refusing to wear a face shield and a mask and goggles and stuff your ears with cotton when you go outside, which you shouldn't do. You're threatening people. Are you threatening me? You remember that? I didn't watch it too much. Beavis and Butthead. The Cornholio. I'm going to do it.
Oh, the great Cornholio. Are you threatening me? You're going outside without a mask. Are you threatening me?
Do you think I'm ridiculous? That's what I think of this. It's ridiculous. Am I going to leave that in there? I probably will. It's just so stupid. Here's what Americans must do when a vaccine is ready. Make vaccinations free and easily accessible. $9 billion going to vaccine development and manufacturing. Is that what I read? I think so. But it's free. Hey, where does the government get its money? Government doesn't have any money. What are the government's resources? Land, which it stole from all of us, and our labor. Where does the government get all the money? Well, from me and you. Oh, it's free. We're paying for it right now. And our children's $30 trillion, children. And we should exempt only those with medical contraindications not to immunization. It is likely that more than one vaccine platform will prove effective, as was the case for polio vaccines. That's all I'm going to say about that. God. Research it while you can. Even though Ethan Siegel at Forbes said, don't do your research when it comes to science. Frickin' research the polio vaccine. What polio really was. As a result, medical conditions that prohibit all COVID-19 vaccines will be rare. You don't have an excuse not to take it. But I like this part that comes in here. Do not honor religious objections. You damn well better honor my religious objection. The major religions do not officially oppose vaccinations. Okay, these guys are experts at religions. Do not allow objections for personal preference, which violate the social contract. You know what a contract is? You gotta, like, it's two people. You can shake hands. You could have a verbal contract. Sign your name. Did you enter into a social contract? I didn't. I don't even know what the hell a social contract is. How can government and society ensure compliance with protective vaccines? We're just trying to protect you. Protect you. Like the cops. Serve and protect. Serve who? The policy enforcers, they are. I was just talking about this with Teresa, totally unrelated, but it's just one of these things that just blows my mind. Like, people don't know, and I don't, because they watch TV, and they don't want to know, they don't want to learn. In a lot of states in the United States, Louisiana is one of them for sure, more prisons are run by private corporations than by the municipalities themselves. And it's not easy, it's getting harder to find it, but you can still find the information about these agreements between these municipalities. And it's there, you can go digging for it. It's not like it's public information, but it's published in articles and things, not so much anymore. So you got to try harder to find it, but it's there to find. Part of the agreements are, of course, these private companies, they're getting huge subsidies. They're not paying taxes. Obviously, it's staffed by state employees, but they run the facility. The companies do, and part of the agreements are stating that for them to turn a profit, because it's a for-profit business, they need to keep a certain number of the beds filled. A certain percentage of the cells need to have inmates in them, or the company's not turning a profit, and that can be breaking the agreement. And then there's all sorts of problems that the municipality's going to have to deal with on the back side of that if they don't, on the back end of that backside. On the back end, if they don't hold up their end of the bargain, which is to put people in cells. There were 3-strike laws. People caught with a tiny little bit of weed to roll a joint, smoke some marijuana when they got home. If they got caught 3 times with just enough to have a joint, have a little Mary Jane, they went to jail. And then those laws were changed. This is just one example. And most of these places that had these 3-strike rules don't have them anymore. If you didn't have enough where you could sell it, it was like intent to sell, they could pin on you, even though probably you weren't selling it. You just didn't have a party or have enough for the week or whatever people were doing. I don't smoke marijuana, never did. But should people be in jail for smoking some marijuana? It's nonsense. But the law that was bad enough to change is good enough to keep the guys in there. You got people serving like 15, 20-year sentences in some cases. 25, I think I've seen. They still got 17 years, 15 years, 10 years on their sentence. Their sentence can't be commuted. They can't be let out. Now that the law has changed, and what put them in to begin with is no longer illegal. It doesn't work that way, does it? I don't even know why I got there. It's just talking about social contracts and protection. Yeah, the police, they don't protect you. They don't serve you. Who are they serving? Locking people in jail for smoking a joint. Who are they serving? Somebody breaks into my house right now. If I don't defend my family, if I don't protect myself and my family, it's not going to be the sheriff's officers around here protecting my family. They're going to show up afterward. They're not going to show up to protect me. So, if you're giving up your freedom for government protection, then you're giving up something infinitely valuable for something valueless, non-existent, really. Protective vaccines. Vaccine refusers could lose tax credits or be denied non-essential government benefits. No hunting license, no fishing license, just some idea. You can't go to the library. Health insurers could levy higher premiums for those who refuse immunization. I ain't going to the hospital anyway. And place themselves and others at risk, as is the case for smokers. See, we refuse immunization and place others at risk. If you smoke, you're not placed. Smoke your cigarettes, except they're chemical poison, right? Grow some tobacco and smoke that. You're probably not going to get cancer, by the way, if you do that, because it's not about the tobacco. It's not even about the burned leaf. It's about the chemicals in there. It really is. But you're not harming anybody. Go in your backyard and smoke a pipe. Whatever. Do it. Who you hurting? Schools could refuse to allow unimmunized children to attend classes. Who's going back to school now anyway? And how long is this going to last people back in school? I don't know. We'll see. Public and commercial transit companies, airlines, trains, and buses could exclude refusers. And how are they going to know you refused? I mean, have you thought about that? How are they going to know? Vaccine certificate. Something injectable that can be read at a distance. I mean, these are real technologies. You should look into it if you haven't. You should think about where's your line. Public and private auditoriums could require evidence of immunization for entry. Well, I ain't going to any sporting events. Are there going to be any? Who cares anyway? The only legal limitation on government or private action is that it not be discriminatory. Since it's free, it can't be discriminatory. I don't even want to touch that. That's just stupid. Immunization certification cards. How then should immunization be documented? A registry of immunization will be needed with names entered after immunization is completed. Although adequate immunization may require more than a single vaccine, maybe every freaking year, maybe more than once a year. What about when the next new, novel, fake virus causes a new, novel, fake disease? You're going to have to keep taking the COVID vax indefinitely. There's going to be a universal flu vax. You're going to have to take that indefinitely. All the things that they're giving to the kids, you're going to have to take those too. And whatever's next. Pussycat flu, you're going to have to take that one. And the durability of protection by different vaccines protection may vary and may require periodic booster immunizations. Thus, immunized persons will need to receive expiration date stamped certification cards. It's late, my apologies. I do know how to read, by the way. Which should be issued to all who are immunized in the country, whether here legally or not. These measures might seem draconian. There's that word again. Look it up if you haven't. And would be costly. Who's going to pay for it? The government? Where's the government get their money? But ensuring universal vaccination is a negligible sacrifice compared with the costs, deaths, and social upheaval that the sustained pandemic is having on our country. Q&A with the epidemiologist. No kidding, this is actually in the article. Coronavirus future in America will be like whack-a-mole. Freaking idiots. These are your trusted experts talking about whack-a-mole. We acknowledge that the refusal to obey rules one considers unjust is an American tradition. But not that that's not true, but this is also true. Another cornerstone of the American tradition is that we come together when it's necessary. We have to come together. America. The best example is doing world wars, blah, blah, blah. Everyone contributed. Yeah, make me go off and shoot people I don't want to shoot and get shot by people. That's bullshit too, but whatever. If my knowledge hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. I don't think it's coarse joking. It's just a word. I try not to be foul. But this stuff, it ain't stressing me out. But this is what it is. Shit's a good word for this. We acknowledge that the refusal to obey rules one considers unjust is an American tradition. But we got to come together. True conscientious objectors could refuse to use weapons for religious reasons in World War II, even though they got drafted and had to serve, but they were obliged to help in other ways. World War II. That's what he brings up, World War II. Frontline, medical heroes. People who help with abortions, people pumping drugs into people. I've been in a hospital. I've had loved ones in a hospital. My eyes are opened to what it's all about. It's not about making people well. Well, people don't make the money. Bottom line, basic level. It's worse than that probably, but it's too much money in it. You and me being sick. Take responsibility for yourself. Do your own research. Actually really do it. Don't listen to Ethan Siegel from Forbes magazine. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. To really be brave is to be the only one not doing what everybody else is doing, because you know it's not right. And if you're not sure if it's right, find out. And I'm telling you, that's all I did. I wanted to just walk away from the conflict. Draw my line somewhere further down the road. But I did my own research. I bought my own research equipment. I found out for myself that what I'm being told is safe and good and effective and right and my duty, patriotic, American, global citizen. It's bad for me. And I got a responsibility not to all these people freaking out here. Not all these people guilted into doing the thing and angry with me because I've not given into that same guilt. And my responsibility is not to them. That's nonsense. My responsibility is to take care of me, to take care of my temple, because my religious observation tells me that my body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and I got to take care of it. I don't eat donuts. I don't drink Cokes. I don't eat almost any processed food. I filter my water clean. I eat good food. On and on it goes. I don't watch TV. I exercise. I spend time with my kids. I read. I take in what's good. And if I know it's not good, try real hard to keep it out. That's at the core. That's part of my religious creed. And I'm responsible for a bunch of other people, to be there for them as long as it's possible for me within my own decisions that I make. Me being responsible for myself, to be here in this place, as healthy and well as I can be, as long as I can be for my family. That's my responsibility. They're my responsibility. I'm responsible for me, and I'm responsible for them. I'm not responsible for anybody else. Prove to me just by walking and living and breathing that I'm making somebody else sick. It's not true. It's just not true. But I just want to read one other thing to you, and it's related to this stuff. Teresa was reading this. If you're finding that you're out of breath when you get to the top of the stairs, this is in a pregnancy book. Accept this as a normal side effect of pregnancy. One of the things that's really been bothering Teresa, as a mother of a lot of beautiful boys and girls. And a woman who has done an incredible amount of serious research about what's good and what's not good, what's healthy and not healthy, what to do and not do, everything from positions in childbearing, the drugs, taking care of yourself prenatal, all of these things. Incredible. Days, weeks, months worth of research. Super, super knowledgeable she is. Bothers her greatly to see all of these moms expecting, walking around with their face covered. By the end of the first trimester, 11 weeks, 12 weeks along, it's normal to begin feeling a little breathless. This is because your heart and lungs are having to work much harder to supply your blood with oxygen due to all the changes that are taking place to allow the baby to grow. The amount of oxygen you need in pregnancy is about 20% more than normal. Some of this goes to the placenta and baby and the rest of your other organs. To get this increased amount of oxygen, you breathe faster and deeper, almost hyperventilating, so you feel short of breath, especially when you exercise. You need 20% more oxygen. You can believe these people if you want to. That you can literally cover your face. You can put something right over your face. You can believe that. It's fine. And that you don't deplete your oxygen. And that you don't build up carbon dioxide. You can believe that if you want to. But it isn't true. And this is just one more danger. Made a video just before this one talking about who you trust and why you trust them. Talking about the experts. Vaccination for all. It's not un-American. It's patriotic, baby. Trust the drug companies. Trust the alphabet agencies. At your peril. Shalom, friends. Until next time.